So in the last presentation, we are able to stop here, and then we're going to be continuing from here to complete the modeling of the structure. So the second floor right here is going to be grip slab, while the third floor is going to be waffle slab successfully, and then from there we take it to the last floor successfully, which is going to be flat slab design. All right, so we are going to be removing this second floor story we generated. So if you want to remove this story now, you just have to navigate to the structural tree, select on the story 2, and then right click right there, and then you click on the remove story, then yes options. So this will remove the story 2 successfully, just like this. So we are going to be generating it again. So for us to do that, we will just have to navigate to where we have stories, and then we right click right there and click on the generate story right there. So here we will be generating from story 1 to story 2. We are not going to remove any of the structural members right here. We leave all of the structural members, so the stair provisions will be generated as well. Okay, so I click on the OK options to have it generated successfully, just like this. All right, then after which I close this. I will remove this solid slab because we are not going to be considering solid slab in this case. So I will hold the control key and then see how to select all of the solid slabs successfully. All right, I could have selected it using this provision, but it will select the stair slab as well. So I wouldn't want to remove the stair slab. So just like this, after which I right click and then I click on delete right there and OK to have the slab deleted, just like this. Okay, then I will be navigating to the plan view, so I can be able to start to place the roof slab. So at this floor we are going to be having roof slab. Okay, so I can as well generate this floor to the third floor. So once we finish from here, we can be able to, create the waffle slab as well as the flat slab successfully. All right, so let's do that. I will have to navigate to stories again, right click, and then I'll get to generate stories. So I'll take it to story 3, okay, with all of the structural elements, okay, being checked. Yes options to have it generated successfully. I close this. Okay, so now I will navigate to 3D. Let's see what we have done so far. So this is what we have. We need to create more stories, like additional 2 stories. All right, so we are going to be having like the 5th stories, 4th and 5th. Okay, so I'll come to these provisions, right click, and then click on insert stories. So we have 5th story right here. I click on the OK option. So we will be generating additional 2 stories from this. But since the next stories is going to be a flat slab, we only need columns. We wouldn't need the beams. So let's navigate to the story 3, which is the populated story. Then we get to the plan view right here. So on the plan view, we only need this provision. So we are going to be selecting basically the columns. That is what we need. All right, to be generated to the next, which is the 4th story successfully. So I can hold the control key or come over to the provisions. Where I've columns, select the first one, or the shift key, select the last one to have all the columns in this story selected successfully. All right, so after which I will also hold the control key so I can select the slab, and this provision where we have beams and slab successfully. I can also hold the control key and select the lift well, just like this. So after which I come to these provisions where I have story operations. I select here and then I will click on generate stories. So I'm generating from story 3, which is the source story, and then the target story is story 4. I click on the OK options successfully. So just like this, and this is generated successfully. Click on close. So this is what we'll have at story 4. This is where we'll have the flash lab successfully. Right, so let us get back to story 2 right there so that we can be able to place the roof slab. So for roof slab, we will have to save this project first before we proceed. Click on save right there to have this project saved successfully. All right, I will navigate to the modeling tab, and then I take the member rib slab, select it right there. So once I select rib slab, in the rib slab dialog, I will be having the X block spacing, all right, to be 400, and then the H slab is going to be 50, which is the topping, the concrete topping, all right, and then the width is going to be 100, and then the H, which is the depth of the rib beams, all right, is the depth of the rib beams. So it is going to be I will use 200 right there for the depth of the rib beams, all right. So this is the design, all right. So after which I come to instruction method. If I want it to rotate, like, all right, so let's start to place it by then, let's load it, all right. Then I will have a dead load, additional dead load of 2 kilonewton in post load. This is basically for commercial used, so I will be considering this is like a kind of hospital, or let's say a kind of a mall. So you see banking, or like a mall general use, I will use 3 kilonewton per square meters, all right, as my input load. Okay, so after which I start to place this, I'll click in these provisions to place my rib slab successfully, just like this in these directions, all right. Just to click to have it inserted just like this. So this is my rib directions, okay. All right, so for this I want to change the direction of this rib for these provisions. So I will come to where I have insertion, okay, and then for the rib angles I'll change it to 90 degree right here, just like this, and I'll start to place it in this other way. All right, so you can see this is how you can actually change the directions of your ribs successfully, just like this. Okay, so here we are done, all right, with this rib instruction. So I close this dialog, and then I will navigate to 3D so you see what we have done so far. Okay, so this is what we have right here. All right, so the next floor, which is the third floor, we are going to be having a waffle slab. All right, we're going to be having a waffle slab. So let's navigate to the third floor. So we place the waffle slab successfully. This is the third floor. We get to the plan view right there of the third floor, and then we will also use the rib slab to create a waffle slab. I will show you how to do that shortly. All right, so for the waffle slab, you have to navigate to the rib slab right here, and then come over to where you have type. Okay, in the type we have what we call the prefabricated, and they have the grillage. So the grillage option is used for the waffle. Okay, so you select grillage right here, and after which the settings are supposed to be the same. I use these provisions as 200. Okay, just like this, 200, and then here is 50. Okay, so waffle slab is a two-way slab, while the rib slab is a one-way slab. All right, so once you place it, you can see that you have a two-way slab. So we are going to be designing it as a two-way slab successfully. So I'll continue to place in these provisions to have my waffle slab successfully inserted, just like this. Just to click in the area bounded by the beams to have it placed successfully, just like this. So we are done with inserting waffle slab. Click on the okay options. So if we check in the load provisions, we notice that we did not apply load to this. So let's see how we do that successfully. Okay, so we have to click on this 2 kilonewton, and we have to be 3 kilonewton. Click on update. So this particular one has been updated. So in that same process, I have updated all of this successfully with the loadings. All right, so we make progress. So now I'll save this project. We are going to the next floor, which we are going to be having this flat slab. So I click in these provisions. You see there's only column that is here. Flat slab does not require beams. All right, so when we proceed, we have to click on the slab provisions right here. So we will have the slab thickness to be 200, at first, if it fails, we will now have to change the thickness. All right. So we move ahead to the loadings. Okay, here we have 2 and then here is 3 kilonewton per square meters. We start to place the flat slab successfully within the area bounded by the green lines. All right, so I continue to place it just like this. Here is the flat slab. All right. Sorry, I am supposed to include up to this column and not within these grid provisions. I'll correct that later. All right. So now I have to delete this one. I'll right click and click on delete right there. Okay. So to insert within here, I can use any of these properties. So I will use instruction method, not really beam region and not grid or axis region. I will be considering pick point. So I will use pick point. I pick the first point, second point, and then pick the third point and the fourth point to have it placed just like this. Okay, I will get rid of the previous point, pick the new point just like this. I continue to pick points. All right, so I will get rid of this point, pick this, pick that, and pick this to have it placed just like this. I will get rid of this point again, pick a new points to have it placed. So over here, I'll do the same thing. I'll get rid of this. I pick the points to have the slab placed here, just like this. I get rid of this by clearing it, and then I place the flat slab just like this. All right. Okay. So here we go. This is what we're having as the flat slab. All right. So what we are going to be doing now, this flat slab, the one at the edge is going to be having drop. This one will be having drop. This will be having drop. This one will be having drop as well. This one will be having drop as well. This, and that. All right. So we are going to be creating drops now. So for you to create the drops, select the columns right here. Right click and then click on the properties. So in the column property dialog, what you have to do, go to drop options. Okay, see, activate drops. We are having drops of 1500 millimeters by 1500 millimeters. We're going to click on these provisions to centralize it, but the depth of the drop is going to be 300. All right, so I click here to centralize it. Okay, so I click on update to have it updated here. So you can see this is the column drops. All right, I'll close this, get to the 3D so you can see what I'm doing very clearly. All right, so I click in these provisions and then come here, see the drop here. Okay, so I've shown you how to place this drop, but we are going to be having this drop along this external columns, including this one. So I will select this, right click on the properties, and then I'll come to drop. I activate it, 1500 drop by 1500 drop successfully. All right, and then I have my dropped thickness to be 300 right there. I centralize the drop and then click on the update. So the same thing I will do, I will create the drop along this column successfully. All right, so let's progress into the next or the last floor. Okay, the last floor, what we have there is let's go to level 1. We are going to be, you know, generating from level 1 up to the 5th level. Okay, this is the first, second, third, fourth, 5th level. Okay, so we navigate to the plan view of level 1. All right, at the plan view of level 1, what we are going to be doing is we will be selecting this area, just this area that I want us to take it to the, according to the design, we're taking this area to level 5th, which is the 5th stories successfully. All right, which is the 5th story successfully. So I will select here. I will select this in additions. I hold the control key so I can select multiple of that. I can select this one, I select this as well. you don't need to select the green line, so you get rid of the green line. Make sure you get rid of the green lines. Okay, just like this. I will select this beam. Some of the color may not be selected, but we'll correct it after we generated this successfully. So we are taking it from story 1 to the 5th story. So we select from these provisions and click on the generate story. So we are taking it all the way to the 5th, which is this one. Okay, so click on the OK options and yes options. So this will be generated successfully. Click on OK. So we have something of this kind. All right. Over here, we don't need these beams, so you have to get rid of these beams. All right. So you check if we have all of the structural elements generated successfully. So we navigate to the 3D, or save this project first. So we navigate to the 3D. So let's see what we have here. All right, this is what we are having. Okay, so this is fantastic. All right, this is just what we expected, but we need to have an additional member here. We need to have a member here. So that is not a problem. We can always select any of these members and then be able to insert it using its property. I'll select this, right click, and then click on the properties, and then I've clicked in the provisions to place that member, column member there successfully. After which we connect a beams. So I'll select this beam, right click and click on the properties of this beam, and then I will pick from this point all the way to this point to have it placed just like this, and I click to get rid of this command, and then pick from here and then all the way to these provisions just like this. I close this successfully. So after which we will have to select the slab, right click and then click on the slab property. We need to place a slab in these provisions. So if that is not working effectively, you have to navigate to the plan view of this. So you right click and go to the plan view just like this. So we can now use the property of the slab to have this placed successfully just like this. So you will notice we are having a difficult to place a slab here. Okay, so we can use an instruction method to place it. So right click and click on properties and then come to clear this. So we are supposed to select beam region, you can see, but we have been trying to place using pick point, but that is the instruction method we used previously. So we select beam provisions so that we can be able to place this successfully just like this. Okay, and then we close this. All right, so navigate to the 3D. All right, so this is what we have as our modeling. So we are supposed to be having here closed. We have to send this up. This lift provisions need to go up additional 1 story, okay, for this lift provisions. All right, so what we have to do here is this. We will create additional story by coming to this provision, click on the story, and then you click on the insert stories. So we have the 6th story, this time around 3 meters. Click on OK, yes options. All right, so having gotten this, we need to generate this lift well. Get the building set out, and then story operations, and then you get to generate story. So the source story is story 5, and then the target story is story 6. Select that and click on OK, yes options. So that is done. Close options from here. So we have the lift well be generated successfully. The next thing we're going to be doing is to apply load. Okay, not all the walls has a load. Okay, some of the wall has been loaded with a glass which is very light. All right, so it's somehow negligible. All right, but these external provisions will be applying wall loads here successfully. So I'll select the first beam here. There will be a wall load on this beam. Have that selected, and then I click on the edit load provisions right there to have this, and then I get to the wall load. The height I'll be using is 2.7. all right, and then the unit weight of a block, okay, is 3.47. I will be using plus the plastering and finishings, okay, like the paintings. All right, so I will just select on this to have it placed. I use the 3D cube. turn it this way so you see it very well. You see the wall is not being extended to the end of the beam because of these instruction provisions, start offset and end offset right here. I'll change this offset provisions to 0, and then over here 0 as well. I click on update. This is extended successfully, just like this. Click on the OK to have that insert, just like that. Okay, I'll select these beams by holding down the control key to have multiple of it selected, just like this. And then I will right click and then click on the paste options to actually paste that. All right, I'll also have to rotate this way. I'll select the beams in these directions. All right, then I will have to paste the load on that. I want to move the green line to the Storey tool right there. All right, so I will also have to select these beams and also apply the wall load to these provisions successfully according to the design. So having this selected just like this, I click on the paste options to have this paste successfully, and then I will also select this other way around. Hold the control key so you can be able to select multiple of the beams and apply the wall loads successfully. Also proceed to paste on these provisions, but here I'm going to reduce the height of the wall. So let me paste here first, and then I paste the load right there, and then I paste also in these provisions. I paste here. You can see not up to the slab right there. There's a space right there. So I will edit this one. Having it selected, I click on the edit load. So in these provisions, I will select the load itself to have these informations. Then in the height provisions, I will change it to, instead of 27, it's going to be 2800, or I will use 2900. That will be fine. So after which I have to click on the update here. So I will reduce this offset to 0 here to 0 as well, just like this, and then click on the update. Sorry, this is supposed to be 2900, just like this, update, and then OK. So you can see now. So can I copy this, copy load, OK option, select these beams, hold the control key to have multiple of it selected, just like this. So if you want to get this plan that we are using in this design, the link in the description of this video, you have this plan. All right, I will download. I will right click and paste the load, just like this. Okay, and then I will proceed to select these other beams. Just like this, and I'll right click and also apply this load here. So this is what we're not having. All right, so we need also a kind of a wall on these beams in the last floor, walls on the beams in the last floor, okay, which is the fifth story. All right, so that will be also be explained later. So for me to apply wall here, what I will do, I'll select this, right click, and then I will proceed to select the paste already copied load. I have to now edit this one. I click on the edit right there. So I select on the wall right here. I can turn the cube this way so I can see it very well. This load is going to be 1500. This is just like a dwarf wall. Okay, I click on update right there, and then click on the OK options to have it placed just like this. Then I'll copy this from here. Use copy options, click on the OK, and then I'll select the beams around these provisions just like this. Sorry, that is a mistake. Let's get rid of that and this other one. Okay, and then we select the beams. We are concerned about the beams. All right, just like this. So I have to select all the external beams successfully. last one, and then I right click, I will paste successfully, just like this. This is what we have. All right, then for the top of the lift well, we are going to close it right here. Okay, so I will now double click on the Storey 6 to have it there. So I can select any of these slab, all right, and then I click on the properties and decide to use the property here successfully, just like this. I click on close options. Okay, so you can see over here we have drops. As I said earlier, we have a drop in all of these provisions, and I've used this tool to show you how you can apply drops, okay, on the top of your columns successfully. So in the next video, we will carry our analysis. We will start from the solid slab design. The video we're going to cover solid slab design successfully, and then the next video is going to cover the roof slab design, and so forth and so on. Okay, so now we are going to be stopping here in this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you need this file, you check the link in the description of this video. You get this file successfully. Okay, if you want a special mentorship class, you can reach to us through the contact in the description of this video. All right, don't forget to join the group chat. There's a link in the description of this video for you to join the group chat, where you can ask all the questions about structural designs, both software and then practical situations questions successfully. Have a great day ahead. We'll see you in the next presentations. Bye for now.